Nvidia has a big problem and they seemingly don't want to fix it. Let's talk about it. Before that, this video is brought to you by VIPCDKdeals.com. CDK Deals is a website dedicated to getting you the best prices on games and software, and right now you can get a Windows 10 Pro OEM key for an insanely low price. Just find the best price and apply my special discount code GPC20 for an additional 30% off. You can also check out securely with PayPal, and once the payment is cleared, you should get access to the code both in your account as well as in your email. In order to activate the new copy of Windows 10, just search Activate under Windows and type in your key. So if you want to learn more, be sure to click the link in the description below. Okay, so if you've been watching my channel, you'll probably know I sold my RTX 4090 a little while ago for an RX 7900 XTX, and I know that sounds insane because the RTX 4090 is definitely faster, but honestly there was just a ton of issues driving me absolutely insane with the RTX 4090 that drove me to switching to the 7900 XTX. But honestly, there's two things I want to talk about in this video that were massive issues, and honestly are a complete deal breaker when it comes to 4K gaming for a lot of people, including me. Now, what are they? Well, let's start off with display stream compression. What is display stream compression? Well, display stream compression is a visually lossless compression algorithm that was developed, I believe, by VESA, and in talking to VESA, I did find out that, yeah, visually lossless is definitely true. I would be very shocked if anybody could tell the difference between a native image being sent over a cable versus one that's using DSC or display stream compression. So as you can imagine, this is a huge deal for monitor makers and TV makers, as this means that they can go ahead and cheap out on some of their components and just use DSC. Now, whether or not you agree with that is besides the point. They are gonna be doing it, and they have been doing it for some time, and it's gonna happen more and more as it just saves a lot of resources. If you can't tell the difference, why wouldn't they do it? Now, a lot of displays that I've been testing do use DSC, and unfortunately on Nvidia RTX 40 series graphics cards, and I believe actually all their graphics cards, but don't quote me on that, I know for sure the 40 series has a ton of problems with DSC in their drivers. Specifically, we can start out with stuff like you can no longer, at least this is the last time I used it, on an RTX 4090, I couldn't make custom resolutions, I couldn't use like DLDSR, I couldn't use any of the downsampling stuff, all that stuff was locked out. And honestly, as annoying as that is, it's not really a huge deal. But what was a huge deal is there's another big problem Nvidia has with DSC, and that's full screen alt tabbing. Now, some of you watching this video might have even seen this issue if you game on 4K displays, as a lot of them do use DSC and will continue to become more and more prevalent on 4K gaming displays coming out. Yeah, if you try and go ahead and alt tab in a full screen game, you might notice it takes a full 5 seconds to get to your desktop. Now, I know this seems like I'm complaining about something that really shouldn't matter too much. 5 seconds, that's not a lot of time, but go ahead and use a GPU which takes 5 seconds to get to your desktop just alt tabbing for a couple of months and tell me how annoying it is. It is very irritating. Again, it's not the end of the world, but it is so annoying to deal with, and the only way around it is to just not put your games in full screen. Now, at this point in time, I don't think it's necessarily confirmed that it's DSC causing this issue, but it seems like it probably is the issue. A lot of people are reporting stuff like this online, and my theory is that it is display stream compression that's causing this problem in Nvidia's drivers. And I've tried to get them to do something about this. I've reached out to them, and they seem either unwilling or incapable of solving this problem, as well as their many other problems when it comes to display stream compression. And as you can imagine, as more and more displays come out with display stream compression, this issue is going to be happening to more and more people. You know who doesn't have this issue? AMD and I think Intel. Don't quote me on that, I'll have to check again, but I definitely know that AMD, you just hit alt tab and bang, you are on the desktop immediately. So that was one of the big problems that really annoyed me. I mean, when people were trying to send me messages and I was trying to alt tab to go see them, it was so frustrating for it to take a full 5 seconds. But honestly, this really shouldn't be an issue because DisplayPort 2.1 has come out, and that actually has nearly double the bandwidth of HDMI 2.1. So clearly all these 4K high refresh rate displays using DisplayPort 2.1 should have no issues running on the RTX 4090 and shouldn't have to use display stream compression and just run really great. You should be able to alt tab with no problems. Well, oops, the RTX 4090, despite it being a $1,600 card, does not have DisplayPort 2.1, not even UHBR 13.5, which by the way is not the full bandwidth, which is what AMD is using. AMD could probably be using the full 80 gigabits per second, but they chose not to, and Nvidia's not even doing that. Nope, they stuck with the old DisplayPort 1.4. Oh boy, I can't wait to enjoy that ancient connector for $1,600. So yes, the one way around this problem, Nvidia deliberately chose not to pursue. So basically, if you own an RTX 4090, I got bad news for you. If you like playing games at 4K, if you're looking at buying a new monitor and you want to play 4K high refresh rate, there's a good chance that you're basically going to be locked in to having this issue. Now, how many displays really use this right now? Well, I'm not going to tell you every single one, but just off the top of my head, here's a few fairly popular displays that already have this problem. Samsung Neo G8. Now, I don't like that monitor because of scan lines and other issues, but a lot of people like this monitor and use this monitor. It's 4K 240Hz. We have the Samsung S95C, which is, in my opinion, the best display money can buy right now. We have the upcoming 57-inch Neo G9, which a lot of people are looking forward to. That's going to be using display stream compression as well. I recently tested a KTC 4K, I believe, 160Hz monitor. That was using display stream compression. And then we also have the upcoming, hope you're not looking forward to this one, guys, 4K 240Hz OLED. Oops, that's definitely going to need display stream compression. So if you're using an RTX 4090, good luck. You better start running your games in borderless window or something, which, sure, that's not a huge problem, but yeah, there is a performance penalty running borderless window, and it can vary from not too much to actually a pretty significant penalty depending on the game and the hardware that you're using. Not only that, but stuff like the 57-inch Neo G9 that's coming out, guess what? That has DisplayPort 2.1, and I think in theory with enough display stream compression, you could technically run it at 4K 240Hz, but that's a lot of compression going on. I think it's like 3.75 to 1 ratio. That's the most I've ever heard of. And I think some people were already complaining that maybe with, I don't know if this is true now, but with the last driver, they couldn't even run the monitor's full resolution and refresh rate. We'll see if that's actually true when I get my hands on it, but I saw a few people complaining about that. So that's another issue. There's going to be some displays coming out that are very high resolution or very high refresh rate that the 4090 maybe can't even run at its full refresh rate or resolution because it's missing the DisplayPort 2.1 connector. So when it comes to displays, there's a huge problem with the RTX 4090. And honestly, that's a huge shame because the 4090 was the last card I was really recommending from the RTX 40 series. Originally, I thought the 4070 and 4090 weren't that bad. Well, the 7800 XT was just released at $100 lower than the RTX 4070, and I actually do expect it will, on average, probably be faster based on leaks and stuff that was put out. So with that being the case, who would spend $100 more for potentially lower performance on the RTX 4070? That card no longer makes sense. So from the 4060 all the way through the 4080, the price to performance is absolutely horrendous, and I can't recommend, honestly, any of those cards. And then the RTX 4090, sure, that's the fastest card on the market, and if you play at 1440p or 1440p ultra-wide, you're probably fine. But if you're into 4K gaming, which clearly the 4090 was developed for, it has a ton of issues with display stream compression, and I can no longer recommend that card for 4K gaming either, unless you're willing to just put up with those issues. I'm personally not. Maybe you are. So basically what it boils down to is, until Nvidia fixes this problem, I can no longer recommend any of their RTX 40 series cards at all to anyone outside of 1440p high refresh rate on the 4090, and that's it. So Nvidia, please, first of all, lower your dang prices. And second of all, if you guys could share this video, please, it would help a ton. I just want Nvidia to fix this problem. I do not want Nvidia to do poorly. I don't want to abandon them forever. I do want to try Nvidia cards again. I think they do have their certain advantages, and AMD currently has their own advantages. There's reasons to run one or the other. So I don't want to be effectively locked out because of a driver problem. That's absolutely ridiculous. And I just want them to fix it. So if you could help share this video to get it in front of Nvidia's eyes to please fix your display stream compression issues, this problem is going to become more and more severe as more and more displays come out with display stream compression, which I guarantee will be the case.
If you made it to the end of the video, be sure to drop a like. Every time you do so, AMD and Nvidia release new GPUs. Also, if you want to see more, check out one of these related videos. You won't be disappointed.